Hello readers, it's Sasha, and I have absolutely no idea why I'm doing this video. So I thought today this video would be about the books that I read as a child that developed my love of reading. So I went to my mom's and I found some of my old books that really solidified my love of reading as a child. And a lot of these books are not very popular because I wasn't really raised in a way that I could read like the really popular books like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. Like those are books that I haven't, not that I haven't cared about them, it's just that I haven't I wasn't raised to love them as much as some people, so I just didn't. So I thought it'd be really fun in this particular video to just talk a little bit about the books that I loved as a child and kind of relive those moments reading them. So most of these are elementary school reads, and if not, then they are like grade 7. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 books here. So yeah, and you're gonna ignore the red face. I was at a park today and I think I got a sunburn. So the first book that I really am excited to talk about is, I think it's probably one of the more popular ones on this list, and that is The Babysitter's Club. And this is a graphic novel by Raina Telgemeier. So The Babysitter's Club, this is the very first graphic novel, and low-key pretty sure it's the very last graphic novel I've ever read. But whenever I would read this book, I reread it like so many times in my life. Like the pages are bent, there's like stains. This gave me such a good energy, and it showed me what real friendships were, and I just had such a fun time reading this. I remember being a kid and my family would go to Bible study at night, and I wasn't old enough to really understand what was going on in Bible study. So I would be sitting in the back of the church, or sometimes it was at my pastor's house, and I would be reading this, and I just remember being like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So Babysitter's Club, I absolutely loved it. I'm pretty sure they're actual books. I'm so cute. I was property of Sasha, my last name, and then the school I went to. I got this at the Scholastic Book Fair, I believe, because the Scholastic Book Fair came to my school every single year, and this is just something I loved so much. So yeah, this video has absolutely no meaning or reason. I don't know why I'm doing this, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. It's just something I wanted to do. So yeah. The next book that I am going to talk about is a book that I got a little box of, I think there were 4 different books. One of them was The Secret Garden, and then there were 2 others that I don't remember because I know they were really basic contemporaries that I don't remember. And then there was one that hit different, and this book is So Be It by Sarah Weeks. So this is about a girl who has a very disabled mom. I believe her mom is severely autistic. I wrote my name in it again. Why was I such an extra queen? But anyways, Heidi doesn't know who her dad is. She doesn't know when her birthday is. She doesn't really know anything about her own identity. So basically she goes out on a cross-country journey to figure it out and find her dad and figure out who she is. And this book, when I say it hits different, it hits different. I read it and I was little, and I feel like if I read it now, I'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. But when I was younger, it was the first time I ever really read a story where the main character was in such a situation, because it's such a heavy topic for kids. But the whole point of this book box that it came in was for it to be a book club with your mom. That was the thing. It was mom-daughter book club box. It's all about mental illness, and when you're a kid and you're reading about it and you're never taught about it anywhere else other than So Be It by Sarah Weeks, it definitely had a different kind of feeling. I feel like now that I'm older and now that I'm much more educated on the topic of mental illness, I feel like I would think differently about this story. But when I was younger, it did teach me a lot. So I loved So Be It. The next book, Lily Bee on the Brink of Cool by Elizabeth Cody Kimmel. I've got no clue what this is about. I believe this is about a girl in junior high, being all cool and stuff. I don't know. But I'm just gonna read the back of the book. It's really funny. It says, Lily Bee's top 5 reasons to buy this book. Goes with every outfit. Bruh. Owning the first copy on your street makes you a trendsetter. Brad Pitt loves women who read, because that's a standard that I lived by when I was like 10. Makes a valuable weapon if you are attacked by pigeons. And I think that's what sold me, because I was literally attacked by pigeons before. I'm afraid of pigeons now, because when I was 3, I was feeding ducks, and I held the food in my hand too long, and I got attacked by a flock of pigeons. I feel like, you know what, when I saw this on the back of this book, I was just like, we were made for each other. Anyways, fun fact about your girl here. And 5th thing, let you brag that you read about me before I was rich and famous. So obviously I bought this book because I was that extra of a queen, and I literally was obsessed with it. I remember I used to be able to read in the car. I can never read in the car anymore without being like, but I used to be able to. So I would read this on the way to church, and I've read this a few times now, and it's just honestly, like, I don't remember what it's about, but I remember reading it like every Sunday on my way to church. And church was like a 45-minute drive from where I lived, because I grew up outside of our city. And I remember like this shit slapped when I was like 12. Like, this was it. Like, we talk about young adult now for 12-year-olds. Like, no honey, where was Lily B? Lily B needs to be on everybody's bookshelves. Okay, all right. So the next book on here is, I don't even think this scrapes 100 pages. Oh no, it does. It's barely over 100. It is a book. I don't know where it came from. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a Christian book. That actually makes sense for the name. But anyways, I remember reading this. Okay, the book itself, Mint Cookie Miracles by Nancy S. Levine and illustrated by Michelle Dorenkamp. And I remember reading this when I was younger on a snow day. And I remember because it fit perfectly, because I believe it was like snowy outside. And I adored everything about this book when I was younger, because like I said, I read Christian books. We went to a store called, I think it was called Miracles, or it was called Blessings, and then it switched to Miracles. And that's where I got all my Christian literature. And I just remember really loving this book, reading it on a snow day. I read the whole thing just in my bed, and it was just pure bliss for me, because you know what, when you're like 10 or whatever, and you're just in your bed with the shortest book of all time, with a blanket over you, and it's snowing outside, and you couldn't go to school because it was snowing so hard. And like I said, I lived outside the city, so like it was harder for me to get to school than most people because I lived further away. And it just like, that is a different type of feeling when you're just like at home and you can't go to school because of the snow. So you're just like, oh, I gotta read a book. And then you read one where they're talking about eating cookies, fresh baked cookies from their next door neighbor, I think, and drinking hot chocolate. Oh my god, like it hits a different type of way when you're 10. Now I need that type of nostalgia, but like what I do is I go and do online shopping because now I have a credit card. All right, now, okay, so the next book is a combination. So it is books 1 to 3 of a very popular series. At least at my school it was very popular, and I used to read these with my mom. My mom and I would sit down and read like a chapter a night together, and that is The Dolphin Diaries by Ben M. Beglio. Yeah, so basically it's about this girl her whole family is sailing around the world researching dolphins, and Jody is recording all their exciting adventures in her dolphin diaries. So that's what these are. And I really, for some reason, I guess I loved dolphins, but I really loved reading these with my mom. I just remember cozying up at night and reading a chapter or two. It didn't even have to be at night. We just read together because I loved reading, and I loved reading with her. So I just remember reading these with her. Oh my god, I made a library when you're extra as a 7-year-old. I did get these when I was very young, and oh my gosh, it just hits different. Like, it just hits a different type of way. It's almost 500 pages, so I remember like my attention span was not good. So we'd sit down and we'd read a few pages, and it lasted a lot longer than the other books I was reading. I just had such a fantastic time. This is the type of book that I would 100% read with like my future children if I were to ever have any. It's a special nostalgia type book. I don't even know how well written it is, but I really loved it. So then I have 2 more physical, and then I have a couple honorable mentions. I don't actually remember one of them, the name of it, so I'm gonna do some digging. But the first book that I want to talk about is, oh my god, there's a sticker. Why did literally, I'm so stupid. Okay, so there was a girl I knew in like end of elementary, junior high that, well, okay, I knew her for longer after that. We were very good friends at like end of elementary, junior high. She was getting rid of some of her books because she's a couple years older than me, so she was getting rid of her younger books. So she gave me almost a whole, like there were a couple books missing, a mystery series, and that is the Nikki Holland Mysteries by Angela L. Hunt. So it's basically just a middle schooler, I think it says. Yeah, it's about a middle schooler who is solving mysteries at her school, and I always thought that was such a cool concept. The last book I have is something very similar, and I think that's where my love of mysteries came from, are these two series. But I had such a fun time reading these. I have like, I think 5 or 6 of these. And finally, the last physical copy is a literal, oh my gosh, I love this series so much. I don't even care that it's religious. I'm just 100% here for this series so much. Okay, the first book in this series is Camp Club Girls and the Mystery at Discovery Lake. So it's basically about a bunch of girls who are like between the ages of 10 and 13, I think. And they go to this camp and they're in this cabin and they solve a mystery together. And then there are, I kid you not, 22, I think, other books in this series where they're just solving mysteries in their hometowns. But it's just like, so like this girl, I think her name was Elizabeth. She would go with Sydney and like go to Sydney's hometown and visit like after camp, and then they would solve a mystery there. And then, oh my gosh, Mackenzie, who is from Montana, Mackenzie would go to Alexis' hometown and solve crimes, and it was just like literally like, it got me so into mysteries. I had such a blast reading these. I read the first one at least 3 or 4 times, and then I literally got, I think I have 18 books in the series. And part of me wants to do a reading vlog where I read all the books in this series that I have. I don't know though, like that seems extra, but that's who I am as a person. So I think I might do like a part 1, part 2 at some point in my life. But this literally got me going in mysteries. And this actually is a book that got my friend into reading too. And I'm very thankful for that because I think she reads a lot still. She did after she read this anyways, but it was such a fun mystery set at a summer camp, which is the perfect place. Okay, I got the first book when I was 10 at my 10th birthday party. I got the books 1 and 2. So for a 10-year-old, like this was perfect reading for me. And I just, oh my gosh, it's so good. The last book series that I want to talk about in this thing this video. I don't know why I don't have like a physical copy still. I feel like I do somewhere, but it is Dear Dumb Diaries. I don't know who it's by, but I read these out loud to my mom in the car on my way to church when I was like 11. And I feel like my mom hated it, but that's fine. I loved Dear Dumb Diaries. Like I would be laughing out loud. And as a kid, like I did not laugh out loud to books. I still don't. I'm stone cold. I'm like, oh, that's a line of funny comedic gold. Okay, I'll go like this. Like, who am I? So, yeah, I'm obsessed with Dear Dumb Diaries. And I want all kinds of kids to read Dear Dumb Diaries because I think they're literally genius for kids. Like, I feel like it works so well because it is a diary entry. I really enjoyed just everything about it. So, yeah, I love that. Okay, so that's it. Those are my childhood favorite books. And I definitely missed one. There's one that I literally cannot figure out the name of whatsoever. It's about a stolen bike and it's got a golden retriever on the cover. I literally don't know what is going on. Like, I don't know what it's about. I literally know nothing about it. But that was also one of my favorite books. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know this is definitely not like a very, you know, like y'all don't care necessarily about what I read as a child. I just thought I would give you guys some context as to like why I read like I do, because these books definitely shaped how I read now. So yeah, that is all. And I can't wait for you guys to see what's to come this month. There's so many fun things coming. And until next time, bye readers.